When it comes to FNAF, there are many challenges you can do. From 50-20 to ultimatum, the list goes on and on. But some of these challenges are harder than you think. Some are so hard, in fact, that they have yet to be beaten. In today's video, we'll be talking about one of, if not the hardest, FNAF game mode to ever exist. Welcome to One Night at Frogger's Max Mode. So, what is One Night at Frogger's Max Mode, you might ask? Well, to put it simply, this mode was specifically designed to challenge players in literally the hardest way possible, making every single second count and having some of the hardest mechanics I've ever seen in any FNAF fan game. One major difference is that instead of the 100% power you're used to, in this game you start with 1000%. While that might seem generous, you'll see why it can be problematic later. Not to mention that the camera switch every 3.5 seconds in a rotating function, which means you have to always be paying attention to know what's going on. But now we have to ask ourselves, who would be this crazy to take on a challenge like this? Meet Frogger25. Frogger25 is known for completing some crazy challenges and being one of the best FNAF players in the whole world. And he would jump at the chance to be the first person to be able to complete One Night at Frogger's, doing multiple live streams and tries, and being the person I would ask to understand how this crazy game even works in the first place. And now, since we understand the basics, let's look at what animatronics we're going to be going up against. 80 and more will always be in one of the hallways, but will always start on the left at the beginning of the night. During this hallway process, they will have 10 phases, with each phase taking 1 second. Make sure to look at him to startle him before he gets inside of your office. Ye-Boy will attempt to get through your office through the vents and the cameras. Make sure to hit them with the right bus so they cannot get through. Matt Rozowski will alternate sides throughout the night, going in different hallways, but will start on the right at the beginning of the night. You have 9 frames to close the door on him and 17.5 seconds to react to him once he enters the hallway, or your run will be over. For Code Hacker, every single time you go to the front of your office, he has a chance to appear. You must drag frogs along to deal enough damage to be able to take him out. But keep in mind that every time a frog is used, you will lose some of your power. Maximum 56 will move counterclockwise every single time you open the camera. Avoid hitting him with a bus, or he will mess up the whole entire camera system. Every time you look in the hallway, you have a chance to run into the toilet. If you do run into him, he will have you move your cursor throughout a maze. If you fail to complete the maze, he will jump scare you. And last but not least, we have Frogger25. Every single time you close the camera, he has a chance to appear, and depending on his voice line, touch him or leave him alone. Over the course of time, Frogger will have to look deeper into the game to fully understand how he could possibly beat it. Over the course of time, he will find out that toilets' mazes aren't always the same, and even the slightest mistake will always lead to your death. He will also master cam stalling to be able to save as much time as possible. Over the course of time, Frogger would also find out that Ye-Boy is a little more technical than we thought. Ye-Boy has to be attacked with a specific pattern at a specific time to be able to actually beat him. The order is 2, 3, 5, 4, 4, 3, and then you repeat that process. After he got this step down, he would then have to realize that every single time he's on a specific bus, he has to know what time it is to be able to attack him appropriately. He will write a whole entire chart down for this, which I will link in the description. He will find out that every single time he goes to close the door for Matt, he has to react in 0.45 seconds, or the game will be over, making it extremely hard to constantly do. Over the course of time, he would also find out that the most optimal way to handle Code is to make sure to look at the frog on the right as he is on the camera, and after he puts the camera down, quickly view the other frogs and use the correct one to save not only power, but time. But now that we have a full understanding, let's see how far Frogger can push max mode.
Touch me. Touch me. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Touch me. Leave me alone.
I mean, kind of. I messed up there, sent the bus at the wrong time, but it would have been fine for Aiden. I messed up you boy. I mean, it's kind of a cycle.
Leave me alone.
Okay, I don't care. Holy shit.
I didn't even realize you.
Frogger will finally be able to do it, finally being able to get a cycle. And while this is good, unfortunately, One Night at Frogger's requires 15 consecutive cycles to be able to actually beat the night, which shows the insane consistency which you need to be able to even get close to beating the night. But with Frogger's personal best being over 2 minutes and 16 seconds, I have no doubt in my mind that Frogger will soon be able to beat the hardest, if not one of the hardest, FNAF challenges to ever exist.